Finally got my brother's RSX out of here. I can now get my truck. Oh hey, that's my truck by the way. It's a '03 Chevy Avalanche. It came stock with the 5.3 LS motor, 4L60E trans. It's, you know, push button 4-wheel drive. You know, all that good stuff. And I really need to quit saying it's probably pretty annoying, but anyway. So yeah, like I said, it came stock with a 5.3. So basically my next course of action here with this project is going to be to somehow get my truck into my garage. And I think I'm going to take that front clip off right there, and it'll just make it a lot easier to put the motor and trans in there all together as one. Alrighty, so I'm back again working on the Avalanche today. And as you can see, the motor and transmission are no longer in the spots they were previously. The entire front clip, which is made up of about 5 or 6 different parts, which is just ridiculous, is now off the truck. And the motor and transmission are now in the engine bay and trans tunnel. So there we have it. The 6.0 and the brand new reman 4L60 transmission has been set into the truck. I think what I'm going to do next is paint the rest of these frame rails here, because while the motor was out I did paint up the frame rails there, try to clean it up a little bit, and some of the underpinning down there. So yeah, I think that's what's going to be next. I'm probably going to paint up all these frame rails and stuff, and then once that's done I will probably move on to accessorizing the motor. Okay, so there is the frame rails all painted up, and I'm not going to say they look nice, but they look better than they did before. And I didn't do a whole lot of prep work or anything like that, just because I just want to get this thing done. I need to get it ready and running and driving for wintertime, which is pretty much now. It's right around the corner at least, and I mean, we're going to start getting snow here pretty soon, so I just want to get this thing knocked out, get it running and driving, and also I have a bunch of scrap metal and things like that that I need to haul off to the junkyard. So yeah, I'm just trying to get this thing running and driving, get everything done and over with. For the most part, I'm not really cutting any corners or anything like that. I'm just not making everything super pretty like I normally would, or spending as much attention to detail on the aesthetic look of things like I typically would. But yes, so now that the frame rails are done, I didn't record it, but I took this valley cover pan off, or valley cover off, and I did that because the seals underneath this, if I can get it off here. So you have your knock sensors right here, and then there is seals that kind of press into this valley cover on the bottom side of the knock sensor, and I noticed that they were cracked and were going to end up leaking or causing some leaking problems. There's the old ones right there. And one of my buddies, Brett, shout out to him, he had an extra set of those seals, so I put those new seals in there, put the knock sensors back in, put the valley cover back on, and it's good to go now. So another thing that I did was this sensor back here, I'm not sure what that sensor is called, I really don't care, but the sensor that came with the 6.0 was a 1-prong sensor, and the clip to plug into it from the 5.3 harness is a 3-prong sensor. So I took the sensor out of my 5.3 because it was a 3-prong, it was the correct one to plug into the wiring harness. I took that off the 5.3, put it into the 6.0, and now it's plugged in, good to go. I hooked up this other sensor back here, and there's also a ground that goes on the back of the block, I suppose. Either that or the trans, I guess it doesn't really matter, as long as they're mated up and it's grounding, should be fine. So that's all taken care of. Next thing I'm going to do is clean up these intake manifold gaskets here. They're a little bit dirty, no big deal. I've already washed up and cleaned up the intake manifold itself. So that's what I'm going to be doing next. I'm going to clean up those intake manifold gaskets, get the intake manifold on here, and then once it's in here, I will hook up the rest of the sensors for that, hook the fuel lines up, all that good stuff. And then I can also start cleaning up. I've got two different sets of coil packs here, one for my 5.3 and one for my 6.0. So I'll clean up the mounting brackets for that, get them ready to mount up, get the coil packs and the brackets mounted up and everything, and then I can start plugging in all the sensors and things of that sort. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and clean up these intake manifold gaskets and get the intake manifold mounted up. Once that's done, I'm going to be kind of at a stopping point there. I need to go to a hardware store and get some bolts for the headers. I have all the bolts for one side, but I'm missing all the bolts for the driver's side here. So before I put the alternator and power steering pump and water pump assembly and fan assembly and all that stuff on there, I want to get this header bolted up and in its place, so that because if I put all that stuff on there, then I'm not going to have as much room to mess around and deal with that header. So that'll be kind of a stopping point until I go to the hardware store and get some extra bolts to bolt up the header there.